I have been really grappling with what to do with respect to my time in the Senate, and I'm very happy to announce that I'm going to run for a third term in the Senate. It's an unusual decision, and as Ann and I worked through it really mostly since the midterms, she pointed out one of the reasons it's hard is it's an 8-year decision. Most of the decisions you make in your life, they're not 8-year decisions. They're like for next year or for next week. I make decisions about tomorrow sometimes, but a Senate term is 2 years of campaigning and then 6 years of serving, and you got to really approach it carefully. Here's why, in conversations with friends and especially with Ann and my family, I've decided to run for a third term. I'm a servant. I love Virginia. I'm proud of what I've done. I got a whole lot more I want to do. So those are the 4 reasons. I'm a servant. I was raised by parents who really taught me to be happy if you do something good for others. And Ann was raised by parents in a very different environment than mine, but who pretty much imparted the same lesson on her. So beginning in my law school years, where I took time off to go work with Missionaries Honduras, then a civil rights career here, and then now in my 29th year in office, local, state, and federal, what makes me happy is to try to help other people. And so many people have helped me. It's a reciprocal thing. It's a beautiful line in the song Forever Young. Always do for others and let others do for you. So many have done for me. It makes me happy to serve others. But not in the abstract. I love Virginia. I moved here in 1984. I only knew one person. But anywhere in this state, including places that don't even vote for me, I've got wonderful friends, and the ability to, after 29 years, to go anywhere and always find somebody who I know, somebody who I can dialogue with, somebody who will inspire me, just like these young people do, somebody whose creativity in tackling a local challenge makes me think, I can apply that somewhere else. It's just endlessly validating and energizing to get around the state and be with people. I just find it nonstop, and not just people. I mean, we hike the trails and cycle the paths and canoe the streams and camp in the mountains. Both our natural bounty and our human bounty are remarkable. And so, loving to serve, you want to serve some particular folks, and the 8+ million Virginians are just exactly the kind of people I want to serve. Virginians have a phrase that I had never heard till I came here, and that's this, and it's usually more in rural Virginia, but you finish an interaction with them and they say, appreciate you. and they mean it. They mean it. The number of people that tell you appreciate you, even if appreciate you, I'm not voting for you, but I appreciate you. The number of people who tell you that and mean it, that phrase appreciate you just seems to me to sum up kind of who Virginians are. Third thing is, proud of what I've done. The Senate is frustrating. Things don't move fast. There's plenty of times where, oh my gosh, it moves too slow. But I've been in the Senate about 10 years now, and whether it's finally seeing the silver line to Dulles gone, getting the State Department training facility built down in Southside, which was a huge economic development thing, raising the tobacco age to 21, getting the Virginia tribes recognized, providing funding for HBCUs, doing unglamorous things like provide some overflow funding in Richmond, Lynchburg, and Alexandria. We saved the Affordable Care Act by 1 vote in 2017. That will always be maybe the moment in politics I'll remember the most. 30 million people's health insurance was on the line, and it was a 1 voter. And if I hadn't run in 2012, it would have gone the other way. And the opportunity to do good, and my feeling, and maybe particularly in the last couple of years when we've really hit stride, gun safety, infrastructure, chips and investment, marriage equality, fighting for health care. I think we've hit stride. I think I'm getting better at it, because it's a weird place, the Senate. You have to learn to get better at it. But that's something I'm just proud of what we've done. But man, I got more I want to do. I got to be honest and look in the mirror and say, have I done everything I wanted to get done? And the answer is I haven't. I mean, you heard inside, there's a lot of priorities that are on the table. How do we make housing better? We talked a lot about workforce. I'm really focused on this issue of Virginia's and America's workforce. We are really, really low unemployment right now. And everywhere I go in the Commonwealth, could be a hospital, could be a school, could be this, can't hire people. Can't hire people. How are we going to solve this issue? This is something, as a member of the Health, Education, Labor, Pension Committee, I'm really focused on. And it's going to be a combination of things. We have to do more career and technical training. My dad was a welder. We're getting better at restoring careers and trades, but we got to do even more. We're going to have to do comprehensive immigration reform. That's the one undone thing. We haven't done it since 1986. If we're not doing an immigration reform bill that's really focused on the workforce, then we're not going to have the workforce that we need to have an economy that's as productive as it can be for everybody. We're going to have to do more high-quality, affordable child care. We got more than 1 million people out of the workforce now who want to be in the workforce, and they have skills. They'd be great in the workforce, but they can't find affordable, high-quality child care. So on my to-do list, workforce issues are very, very high, and it's a mixture of things. Healthcare issues are high. We've been able to bring down prescription drug costs for seniors, but what about for folks who aren't seniors? The insurance companies in Virginia that have been filing on the exchange, premiums are going down this year, but they're still too high. So we have to make healthcare more affordable. We have to deal with some inequities like maternal disparities in maternal health between African American women and others. We got to make sure women can make their own reproductive health decisions without government needlessly in their way. I have long COVID. It's mild. It's not getting in my way, but it is noticeable enough that I know there are people who are really struggling with this, and millions of people. We've got to do better in terms of finding treatments and cures and therapies for the millions of Americans who are going to be dealing with this for a very long time. In the national security space, I'm very fortunate to be on both the Armed Services and the Foreign Relations Committees. And the role of America in the world matters. So some of you know because I was a missionary in Central America, you know, if you've ever lived outside the U.S., you kind of realize, wow, the U.S. is really important elsewhere. If you haven't, you can kind of take for granted or maybe not see the tremendous influence that we have all around the world. I'm proud to be a supporter of what the Biden administration has done with respect to this illegal invasion in Ukraine, because one of the reasons that invasion happened was that Putin believed he could illegally invade another democracy, and the democracies in the world wouldn't stand up. He thought we didn't have the backbone, we didn't have the unity, we didn't have the resolve, we wouldn't stand up for our own way of life, small d democracies. And he was wrong, because we linked arms. And we said, even though it's a sacrifice, democracies are worth battling for. And the ability to focus on important matters of war, peace, and diplomacy, but also to take care of troops and take care of veterans and take care of military families is a continuous challenge. So again, whether it's civil rights or workforce or healthcare access or the role of democracies in a world where, frankly, democracies are under assault by dictators at home and abroad in a way that has not been the case during my lifetime, I feel like I have so much more to do. So it's not a decision that I reached lightly. I don't make decisions lightly, and because it's an 8-year decision, it was something that we really needed to think through. But I think it was Abraham Lincoln says, "I'm a slow walker, but when I do walk, I don't turn back." Having made the decision, I'm all in. I'm ready to run very, very vigorously. I'm ready to keep serving very vigorously, and I appreciate. Some people were pretty patient with me as I was making my decision, and I really appreciate that. But anyway, to my family and to my staff who are wonderful, and to some of my friends here in my hometown, thanks for the support that you've given me along the way, and I'm glad to open it up and take questions.